No warning sirens, no bold proclamations, just a quiet ship slipping away from Canada's Pacific coast, bound for Asia. That ship carried more than liquefied natural gas, LNG. It carried a message: Canada is stepping out of America's shadow. While the United States grapples with internal challenges, trade disputes, policy gridlock, and economic uncertainties, Canada has been crafting a decade-long energy strategy. Now they're making their move, and it's shaking the foundations of global energy markets. Welcome to Top 10 America Beyond, where we dive into the stories reshaping our world. Today we're counting down the top 10 reasons why Canada's LNG rise could redefine America's role in the global energy race and what it means for our future. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Top 10 America Beyond for more insights into the trends shaping our nation and beyond. Let's explore how Canada's strategic pivot to Asia, with multi-billion-dollar deals to Japan, South Korea, and China, is challenging America's dominance. Is this a simple business misstep, or the first crack in the global influence Top 10 America Beyond has tracked for decades? More urgently, if we don't act fast, what awaits us in 5 to 10 years? This video is for educational purposes only, presenting facts and opinions from public sources. Let's begin our countdown.
Top 10 America Beyond.
Number 10. Canada's strategic LNG agreements with Asia. Canada has quietly secured its place on the global energy stage, signing blockbuster LNG supply deals with Asia's economic powerhouses, Japan, South Korea, and China. In Japan, Toho Gas committed to purchasing 300,000 tons of LNG annually for 15 years starting in 2024, while Tokyo Gas locked in 600,000 tons per year for 13 years, with flexible delivery options to adapt to market shifts. South Korea's state-owned KOGAS, the world's third-largest LNG importer, didn't just sign contracts, it took a 5% stake in the LNG Canada project, signaling a deep commitment to Canada's supply chain. China's PetroChina went further, securing a 15% ownership stake, positioning Beijing as both buyer and partner in Canada's energy future. These deals aren't just transactions, they're strategic moves that redirect LNG from Canada's Pacific coast to Asia, bypassing traditional US pipelines. For decades, Japan, South Korea, and China relied on American LNG from Gulf Coast ports in Texas and Louisiana. Now Canada's rise is shifting the energy map, and Top 10 America Beyond sees this as a wake-up call. The lesson here is clear: in a fast-changing world, adaptability is key. Just as Canada pivoted to meet Asia's growing energy needs, we must embrace flexibility to stay competitive. But how did Canada pull off this energy coup? Let's move to number 9 to uncover the infrastructure giving them the edge. Can America match Canada's geographic advantage? Number 9. The Kitimat advantage. Canada's LNG success hinges on one critical asset: the Kitimat port in British Columbia, a $40 billion deep water facility on the Pacific coast. Unlike US Gulf Coast ports, which require LNG tankers to navigate the costly and congested Panama Canal, Kitimat offers a direct route to Asia. Shipping times to Tokyo, Busan, and Taipei are slashed to 10 to 11 days, compared to nearly 20 days from Texas or Louisiana. This geographic edge saves millions in transit costs and sidesteps geopolitical risks tied to the Panama Canal, where tolls range from $300,000 to $450,000 per trip, and droughts in 2024 cut capacity by 30%. Approved in 2018, the LNG Canada project weathered the COVID-19 pandemic, market volatility, and supply chain disruptions to launch its first shipment in June 2025. This wasn't luck, it was vision. While America assumed Canada would remain a secondary supplier feeding US pipelines, Canada built a gateway to the Pacific, achieving energy independence. At Top 10 America Beyond, we believe vision drives progress. Canada's focus on long-term goals reminds us to invest in our future, even when challenges arise. So, what's fueling Canada's ambition? Number 8 reveals the global giants betting big on their energy strategy. Are we underestimating Canada's global partnerships? Number 8. Global giants back Canada. Canada's LNG revolution isn't a solo act, it's backed by some of the world's biggest energy players. Shell, Petronas, Petrochina, Mitsubishi, and Kogas have poured billions into the LNG Canada project, viewing Canada as a stable, reliable investment hub. Unlike American companies which face domestic policy swings, these global giants see Canada's steady governance as a safe bet. This international trust has turned Kitimat into a global energy hub, with foreign capital driving its rapid rise. This partnership model highlights Canada's strategic calculation. By aligning with Asia's energy giants, Canada secures not just funding but also long-term buyers. Meanwhile, the US has been slow to court similar global alliances, leaving us vulnerable to market shifts. Top 10 America Beyond sees a powerful lesson here: collaboration fuels success. Just as Canada leveraged global partnerships, we must build bridges to strengthen our economic resilience. But why is Asia so eager for Canada's LNG? Number 7 dives into the booming demand driving this shift. Can the US still capture Asia's growing energy market? Number 7. Asia's LNG boom. Asia is the world's LNG goldmine, with demand projected to surge 60% by 2040, according to Shell's LNG Outlook 2025. Japan, South Korea, China, India, and Southeast Asia are rapidly expanding their economies, and LNG is their fuel of choice as they shift from coal to cleaner energy. LNG produces significantly less carbon than coal for electricity generation, making it a vital transitional fuel toward renewables. Canada's Kitimat port is perfectly positioned to meet this demand, offering faster, cheaper access to Asian markets. For Japan and South Korea, where domestic energy production is nearly non-existent, 90% and 85% import dependency, respectively, LNG is securing security, powering homes, industries, and winter heating. Canada's non-political trade approach has won their trust, contrasting with US trade disputes that have raised doubts about reliability. At Top 10 America Beyond, we're inspired by Asia's forward-thinking energy shift. It reminds us that embracing change, even in small steps, can lead to a brighter, more sustainable future. Canada's rise isn't just about geography or demand, it's about strategy. Number 6 explores how nearly a decade of planning gave them the edge. How can America learn from Canada's long-term vision? Number 6. Canada's decade-long Masterplan. Canada's ascent in the global LNG market is the result of a bold, forward-thinking blueprint launched over a decade ago. In 2015, Canada identified Asia's rising energy needs and began laying the groundwork for the LNG Canada project, a $40 billion initiative finalized in 2018. By 2025, this vision became reality with the Kitimat terminal's completion. Despite global supply chain disruptions and economic uncertainty, according to a 2025 report from the International Energy Agency, IEA, Canada's LNG exports are projected to grow 20% annually through 2030, driven by its focus on Asia's 70% share of global LNG demand. Unlike the US, which has prioritized short-term domestic gains, Canada aligned its energy strategy with global trends, partnering with local communities and indigenous groups to ensure sustainable development. This inclusive approach not only secured domestic support but also positioned Canada as a trusted global supplier. Top 10 America Beyond finds a lesson in Canada's foresight. Planning for tomorrow starts today. By setting clear, inclusive goals, we can build a future that benefits everyone. Canada's strategy is impressive, but what's at stake for America? Number 5 reveals the economic ripple effects of losing LNG market share. What impact could this have on American workers? Number 5, economic fallout for America. If Canada continues to dominate Asia's LNG market, the US faces severe economic consequences. Texas and Louisiana, home to major LNG ports like Sabine Pascus Christi, could see revenue shortfalls as long-term contracts shift to Canada. These ports, once bustling with weekly shipments to Asia, risk operating below capacity, triggering layoffs across energy, logistics, and shipbuilding sectors. In 2024 alone, US LNG exports generated billions in tax revenue and supported hundreds of thousands of jobs. Losses here would hit hard. Northern industrial states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, reliant on LNG for power and manufacturing, could face price volatility if domestic markets become oversupplied. Industries like steel and chemicals may scale back, stalling job growth. The technical middle class, engineers, technicians, and pipeline specialists, faces an uncertain future, as green industries like renewables lack the scale to absorb them quickly. Top 10 America Beyond believes in the resilience of American workers. By investing in their skills, we can turn challenges into opportunities for growth. The economic risks are real, but the stakes go beyond dollars. Number 4 examines how Canada's rise weakens America's global influence. Can the US maintain its diplomatic edge? Number 4. Eroding global influence. LNG is more than a commodity, it's a tool for global leadership. The US has long used its LNG exports to cement alliances in Asia, where 70% of global LNG demand resides. However, Canada's 2025 entry as a major supplier is shifting this dynamic. A recent Bloomberg Energy report notes that Canada's LNG Canada project has secured 20-year contracts with Japan and South Korea, offering stability that US suppliers struggle to match amid domestic policy shifts. This reliability is drawing Asian nations closer to Canada, reshaping diplomatic ties. For energy-dependent nations like Japan and South Korea, Canada's consistent supply ensures economic stability, from powering tech industries to heating homes. The US, distracted by internal debates, risks losing its role as a trusted partner. Top 10 America Beyond sees a universal truth in this shift. Reliability builds trust. By recommitting to our allies, we can strengthen our global standing for generations. Canada's ascent is a wake-up call, but why did America fall behind? Number 3 uncovers the infrastructure and policy failures holding us back. What's stopping the US from competing? Number 3. America's infrastructure and policy lag. The US has vast natural gas reserves, but lacks the infrastructure vision to compete globally. Most LNG export terminals are in the Gulf of Mexico, relying on the Panama Canal, where congestion and high costs erode competitiveness. Proposed West Coast terminals in Oregon and Washington stalled due to lengthy approvals and environmental pushback. Canada, meanwhile, built Kitimat with laser focus, sidestepping these hurdles. Domestic policy gridlock hasn't helped. While Canada removed trade barriers like digital taxes to seal Asian deals, the US got bogged down in disputes, projecting unreliability. In 2024, when Canada sent its first LNG shipment to Asia, America was still debating internal policies. Top 10 America Beyond finds inspiration in overcoming obstacles. Bold action can break through even the toughest barriers. Let's commit to streamlining our processes for a stronger future. The challenges are clear, but how can America fight back? Number 2 outlines a bold recovery plan. Can the US turn the tide with innovation? Number 2, a roadmap for America's comeback. America can reclaim its LNG crown with decisive action. First, we must build West Coast LNG terminals in states like Oregon or Alaska to match Canada's Pacific advantage. Streamlining approvals and addressing environmental concerns can make this a reality. Second, renegotiating long-term LNG contracts with flexible terms and competitive pricing is critical to retaining Asian buyers. In 2024, Asia accounted for 70% of global LNG demand. Securing these markets is non-negotiable. Third, investing in advanced liquefaction technologies can make US LNG cheaper and cleaner, meeting Asia's strict environmental standards. Finally, upgrading domestic supply chains, pipelines, plants and fleets will eliminate bottlenecks like those in 2022 when demand surged but capacity lagged. Top 10 America Beyond believes in America's potential. With innovation and grit, we can lead the energy race once more. Let's seize this moment to shine. Recovery is possible, but what about our workers? Number 1 tackles the human side of this crisis. How can we protect America's workforce? Number 1, protecting America's workers. No strategy is complete without safeguarding our workers. As Canada captures LNG markets, US energy states face job risks. In Texas and Louisiana, declining exports could impact tens of thousands of workers, from technicians to logistics staff. The federal government must act now with robust retraining programs, transitioning LNG workers to growing fields like hydrogen or offshore wind. In 2023, renewable energy jobs grew by 6%. Let's prepare our workforce for this shift. A stabilization fund, backed by public and private sectors, can support communities reliant on LNG ports, offering loans and investments to diversify local economies. Coordinated policies between federal, state, and local governments are vital to avoid past mistakes, like the coal industry's collapse in the 2000s. Top 10 America Beyond stands for unity. By protecting our workers, we ensure a thriving, sustainable America for all. Conclusion. Canada's silent energy revolution has redrawn the global LNG map, challenging America's leadership. From Kitimat's strategic advantage to Asia's booming demand, Canada's decade-long plan has outpaced a distracted US. Yet, hope remains. With bold infrastructure, innovative technology, and a commitment to our workers, America can reclaim its place at the top. The question is, will we act in time? At Top 10 America Beyond, we believe in America's resilience. Let's rise to this challenge and shape a future that inspires the world. What do you think? Can America lead the energy race again? And drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that matter. See you next time.